Welcome back to Vanguard Motor Sales. I'm Greg, and I'm standing in front of a beautiful 1970 Monte Carlo. This baby's got an LS3. They tell me it's making 420 horse to the rear wheels. It's got a 4L85 trans in it. Beautiful interior, and you're gonna love checking it out. It was restored 4 years ago, frame off, so go to our website at vanguardmotorsales.com. We're gonna get it up on the lift so you can see how nice the bottom side is. We'll pop the hood, take a look at that LS power. We're gonna look at the interior, look inside the trunk. We'll show you everything you wanna see so you can make a great decision on this muscle car investment. So get up here and let's fire this LS3 up. So look at this black beauty. I tell you what, she is slick as heck. And you know, if you're gonna paint a car black, you gotta be a good body man. Look at that hood, man. Just beautiful. The chrome all looks good. The grill's in great shape. When you look down the side of the car, it's nice and straight. That hood's fit nice and flush with the front fender. Now that door's also lined up nice. That line looks nice. All the stainless looks good. Rear view mirror looks like it's new. Door handle looks like it's new. The door opens nice and smooth. And look at these lips here. And the door jamb's nicely painted. And the rubber's replaced. The door panel itself looks like it's brand spanking new. That steering wheel's leather covered and looks beautiful. And check out the seat, man. Look at the upholstery on the seat. Man, it looks great. We got great looking seat belts in the car, in the front and in the rear. That rear seat's matching the front seat. Even the door panels there in the back match. Headliner looks good, dome lights working. And take a look at the dash, how nice and clean that baby is. The lenses are nice and clean. The dash pad itself's in beautiful shape. And man, is that a hot looking steering wheel there. Now we're going to take a look inside the trunk here. When you look down this quarter panel, the body work is nice and straight. We've got great looking wheels and tires here. The chrome bumper's in beautiful shape. Deck lid's in great shape. Inside the trunk here, everything's nice and clean. The wheel wells are nice and tight. Back sides of the quarters are nice and clean. All the gutters here look good. The rubber's good. The paint work on the bottom side of the deck lid looks great. And when you look down the side of the car, she's straight as an arrow. Now at Vanguard Motor Sales, we're not consignment dealers. That means we spend the time to check these cars out before we buy them. Now our buy team looks at hundreds of cars every month to only buy a handful of them. I personally work with the buy team on all the buys. That means you get my 35 years of experience buying these cars. Now, when they get back here to the shop, our classic car mechanics and our professional detail team go to work on them. They're inspecting them and repairing them so Tommy can answer all your questions when you call at 248-974-9513. Now, let's go outside and drive this baby. All right, check this baby out. I tell you, I am so disappointed. I've actually been out driving this and it drives awesome, but it's nasty out today, so we can't go driving. But I tell you, look at this dash. It's beautiful. It's all in the stock locations, but it looks brand spanking new. The horn's working, the tilt column's working, the aftermarket radio's working, the AC works, the shifter works great. This is an amazing machine, guys, and we can ship it anywhere in the world, and we can also finance it. So call Tom at 248-974-9513. He can tell you how easy that process is. Now, if you'd like to fly in and check it out, we're only 20 minutes from the airport. If you'd like to drive in, we're actually open on Saturdays too. So you can come on down and check out our 220 car inventory, and we're bringing in 40 new ones every month. So stick with us, because we're gonna put it up on the lift now so you can see how nice the bottom side is. And we're gonna pop the hood and take a look at that LS power. We gotta listen to it one more time. Listen to that baby, man.
All right, guys, this is the underside of our 1970 Monte Carlo. Unfortunately, Greg had to step out for a second, so you are stuck with me for the day, or for the rest of the day, I should say. So the underside of this thing is really, really nice. It's about, same quality as the top side, so you're, seeing quite a bit of nice stuff under here. You can see we've got a brand new gas tank here, of course, new straps, no big surprise. Fresh exhaust on the car as well. Looks like it's stainless. And of course all the hangers are in good shape. It looks like it's all mandrel bent as well, which is also good stuff for performance. And speaking of performance stuff, on either end of this Moser rear axle, I'll get to more about this in a second, we have disc brakes on it. Actually has the parking brakes hooked up, which is nice. Brand new hard lines here. Now attached to all this, like I just mentioned, it's a Moser rear axle. The case itself, I believe to be a Moser rear end as well. The previous owner stated so, and it's got a casting number that I've never seen before for typical GM stuff. I believe this is actually a Moser axle, and of course it being like a pre-bought setup, I'm assuming all the internals inside are Moser as well. It is equipped with a 373-to-1 gear ratio in it, and that with the transmission that's in it, which is an overdrive unit, and I'll get to what it is specifically in just a second, that means that this thing should get up on the freeway and cruise pretty fine. With a big old car like that, it'll just probably about rock you to sleep. Looks like we do have a set of aftermarket springs in the back, which is kind of helps with the car's stance. Something else I'd like to point out is the 4-link bars here. It's all Hotchkiss stuff. So you've got these big, nice, I don't want to say tubular, but like, actually full boxed in aftermarket arms here. It looks like a slightly bigger sway bar in the back too, which is very important. And we even have our upper ones as well. And these are adjustable up here as well with all the jam nuts and such. Some other things I'm seeing here is, of course, we see a little bit of the aftermarket fuel stuff up here because this does have an LS engine in it. Moving forward of all of that, they did put a custom drive shaft in this thing because with the engine and transmission change, of course, the distance changed, so they got a custom aftermarket drive shaft made for the thing, which is really nice. Of course, all new U-joints and stuff like that comes with it. Magnaflow mufflers on this thing with what continues to look like a good exhaust going all the way forward. Floor pans look like they're in really nice shape. Brand new, looks like this is, I think, the brake line. The fuel line is over here. All that stuff looks like it's brand new. Floor pans continuing to look good. All right, for transmissions, this is a 4L85E. So this is the bigger version, or the little tougher version of the 4L80, and it's even tougher, more so than the 4L60. So this is the big boy transmission. These are, when you're making some serious horsepower, this is what you want to use. This is what GM put in a lot of their heavy-duty trucks. So this thing is more than adequate to handle what we've got making all the power up front. Moving forward to that, this is the bottom of our LS motor. You can see here they do have the aftermarket muscle car oil pan that Holley makes for these things to put these things in just about anything. Moving forward of all of that stuff, the front end obviously has been gone through. I mean, there's not 30 years of crud on all this stuff. It's all really nice, fresh stuff. You can tell that all of our tie rod ends, both inner and outer, have been messed with and been replaced. Looks like, of course, seeing that we have aftermarket upper and lower control arms on the car, reasonable logic would lead you to believe that all that stuff is new as well. All the boots are in good shape. Looks like it's had a fresh grease job. Of course, disc brakes on the front as well. All the brake lines up here are brand new as well. And we got a big old sway bar up here, along with looks like all new links and stuff like that. All of it looks like it's in really nice shape. All good stuff. Actual braided lines that I believe this is for the trans cooler, if I'm not mistaken. It is. Excuse me. So all good stuff. It looks like it's a pretty well built car, and when they built this, they built it with performance in mind, which is something I personally like quite a bit. Let's check out wheels and tires. All right, guys, for wheels and tires, we have at least for tires, I should say, 245/40 ZR18. You hear me say it all the time. Z is like a speed rating, so this is a more performance oriented tire, and it's a Nitto brand tire, which is they generally make some pretty sporty stuff. Got a nice set of aftermarket wheels on it, the Legend series, and then on top of that, or I should say inside of that, we do have drilled and drilled and slotted rotors on this thing with looks like some pretty nice painted calipers as well. Let's go check out the rear. All right, guys, back here we got 255/40 ZR18. I just explained what the Z rating means. Same good looking wheel on the thing. We do have drilled and slotted rotors back here as well. And like I said, rear disc brakes on this car more than likely came in a package with the rear end. Let's go check out the LS3 under the hood. All right, guys, underneath the hood of this Monte Carlo is an LS3. For those of which you do not know, it is a 376 cubic inch V8. That's a 6.2 liter in modern terms. Now this engine, the previous owner said that he has gone through this motor. This engine was taken out of a GM vehicle. However, before it was stuffed into this car, it had been gone through and of course, re-ring, re-bearing, rechecked out all the, the whole 9 yards. And once he got done with everything, he stuck it on the dyno, and apparently rear-wheel horsepower numbers were 420 horsepower, which is pretty impressive considering your drivetrain loss, which is roughly on an automatic transmission 20%. So you guys can do the math, but that's what the number we were given. And it does run like it too. Outside of all that, you can see that the car is relatively solid. I mean, of course, there's no body rot or anything like that in here. Everything's still got a nice coat of paint on it. Obviously, they had the motor out of it at one point, so that gave them an opportunity to clean anything up, repaint anything that needed to be painted. We do have power brakes on this thing. You see we got the big catch can down there for, I believe that's like a vacuum catch can if I'm not mistaken. It does have looks like a set of aftermarket wires on the coil packs as well. Big old aftermarket intake pipe on it. We do have electric fans up front, which is nice, and then it's all thermostat controlled, so you don't have to mess with anything. You can just drive it basically like a modern car. Outside of all of that stuff, it looks like we got a relatively new battery. Battery hold down's doing its job. No surprise that all the hoses were replaced with the motor. And of course, a lot of the stuff probably didn't carry over. Looks like, if I'm not mistaken, an aftermarket aluminum radiator, nice overflow can, low car dipstick over there for the transmission. And of course, it looks like we've got all new brake lines up here as well. Looks like the wiring harness has all been done for the car. I can see fuses put in everything, like fuse holders. It looks like the guy did a pretty decent job when he put the thing together. And I'd invite you guys to come in and drive this one so you can experience it for yourself. One other thing I'd like to point out just before I get done with this whole thing is this car does, of course, it's being a hot rod. Of course, it's been engine swap, transmission swap. It does indeed have a 71 front bumper that somebody, a thankful listener, decided to point out to us that it does indeed have a 71 front bumper, and they are indeed right. But it is a 1970 automobile. So that all being said, if you'd like to have this hot rod parked in your driveway or garage, make sure to call Tom at the number below and let Vanguard Motorsports park this Monte Carlo in your driveway.